What's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. Today we're going to be discussing the what's next for Joe Smith Jr., the newly crowned WBO light heavyweight champion of the world at 175 pounds. Saturday, April 10th, he main evented an ESPN card when he took on Maxim Valsov and scored a hard-fought 12-round majority decision victory to capture the vacant WBO light heavyweight title. So this really makes him one of the top players at 175 now. I currently still have him at number 3. He worked hard to get that title. He's had 3 major wins against top-tier competition in the last little over a year. I'd say, 14, 15 months. Beat Jesse Hart in January of 2019. Then he knocked out Gilberto Ramirez in August of 2019 when he was a pretty sizable underdog. And then he took on Valsov, the tough Russian, and walked away with a 12-round majority decision. So now he's pushing forward, and we're going to see what's next for Joe Smith Jr. Let's run him through the top 10 and see what's possible. First up is number 1, undefeated WBA super champion Dimitri Bivol, which would be a rematch for Joe Smith. This fight's not going to happen next. Dimitri Bivol is on a collision course with Gilberto Ramirez. Now, Bivol's fighting May 1st against Craig Richards of the United Kingdom. It's not locked in that him and Gilberto Ramirez are fighting, but they have already pretty much agreed in principle that they want to fight each other. It's an easy fight to make on DAZN, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to line up to fight each other next. Joe Smith's going to go in another direction, and then when the smoke clears, if both of them are sitting there as world champions, they will rematch, but it will not happen next. Number 2 is the undefeated unified WBC IBF champion Artur Beterbiev. Now, I think this is probably the most likely option for Joe Smith Jr. Beterbiev just made a mandatory defense. Joe Smith was the mandatory, fighting for the vacant title, so these two guys both are in optional mode and can fight each other, and I think they're going to do that next. I think we're going to see Joe Smith and Artur Beterbiev lock horns to unify light heavyweight titles, and we're going to have a 4-belt champion if that takes place. Beterbiev will definitely be the favorite going in against Joe Smith, but with Joe Smith's power, and Beterbiev has left himself open, he is susceptible to being hit, I think it could be a very good fight, and Joe Smith would definitely be a live underdog in that fight. So that's that. Again, Joe Smith's number 3. Number 4 would be a rematch against Gilberto Ramirez. Not going to happen. Alvarez, actually number 4 is Sergey Kovalev still. I would like to see that, and I wouldn't completely rule it out. Kovalev is a guy who still carries the name and now is considered to be more of a gatekeeper, a very beatable fighter, even though he still can box and punch hard, but he's also hittable. So with his name, and he probably has the biggest name at 175 in terms of the most money you're going to make in a fight. I think Joe Smith, if for some reason the Beterbiev fight doesn't look likely, I think he would be down to fight Kovalev. And to be honest, I think Kovalev would believe in himself enough to take on Joe Smith next. So I wouldn't be surprised if this fight happened, to be honest with you. Number 5 would be a rematch with Gilberto Alvarez. I don't think either side wants this. It would make no sense for Joe Smith. He dominated Alvarez last August, and Alvarez wouldn't want it right now. He still hasn't returned since that knockout loss, so not seeing this one. Number 6 is WBA regular champion Jean Pascal. Now, here's a fight that could be possible, but I don't think Joe Smith is interested in fighting for Pascal's title, because really it's not an actual unification bout. The other 3 governing bodies do not recognize the WBA regular belt as a belt to unify titles for. So I don't think Joe Smith would be down, but to get the Pascal name on his resume and it's a beatable opponent, I think that would be something Joe Smith might consider. Again, if the Beterbiev fight cannot be made, I think that fight would be possible. Number 7 is still, at this point, Marcus Brown, the former interim champion. I don't see this one next. I think Brown is going to try to get himself in position. He still hasn't fought in well over a year and a half, but I think he's going to try to get himself in position to fight for the WBC mandatory position for that belt. But yeah, I don't see Joe Smith giving a run at this one. Number 8 is former 2-division world champion Badu Jack. If the fight could be made between ESPN and the PBC, I would say yes, but I don't think this is a makeable fight between those two. I don't think the two sides will come together, so I'm going to say no. Number 9 is the undefeated former 2-time super middleweight champion Gilberto Ramirez. Again, Gilberto Ramirez looks to be on a collision course with Dimitri Bivol to have a showdown with him for the WBA super title. So I don't think Joe Smith and Gilberto Ramirez is an option. And then we look at the number 10, which is, I believe I have Lyndon Arthur sitting there, and I think he's tied with Jesse Hart. A showdown with Jesse Hart is not an option. And Lyndon Arthur, I like the fight, but I don't think, and I think it could be an option, but kind of a slick boxer. I think Joe Smith wants a bigger fight. With his style, I don't think he's going to lean towards a fight with a slick boxer. And then Maxim Valsov has broken to the top 10 now for that performance against Joe Smith. So I'm going to say there's no chance of a rematch, but he is in the top 10. So the most likely options for Joe Smith Jr., in my opinion, I absolutely think like an 80-90% chance that he's going to fight Artur Beterbiev next. I think that's a very, very likely showdown between the two. Again, they're both in optional mode with their belts. They don't have any mandatories due, and they fight for the same network. So it's an easy fight to make. 3 out of the 4 belts will be around the waist of the winner, and that's huge right there. So I definitely think it's going to be that fight. I wouldn't completely rule out a Kovalev or a Jean Pascal fight for Joe Smith. I think those fights are possible because of the name recognition that Joe Smith would get by fighting them. And then Lyndon Arthur also possibility. But I really think the Joe Smith-Arthur Beterbiev fight's going to happen. So that's it. That's what's next on the newly crowned WBO light heavyweight champion at 175 pounds, Joe Smith Jr. I hope you guys enjoyed it. True Boxing, you've been hit with